Walk with me.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the I am, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. The mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve him. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the righteous shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even laughter in the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. Proverbs chapter 14, verses 1 through 14. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, all praises to the Most High. We thank God for you, and we thank God for those of you that have been with us all since the beginning, and those of you here and there's about, and those of you, we thank God for those of you that have viewed, and those of you who are thinking about subscribing, even those of you that have just subscribed, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, you're walking with Mr. Clay. I am Mr. Clay, and we thank God for you. This is the day that the I Am have made. It's Saturday, not the Sabbath. Today is Saturday. We will rejoice and be glad in it anyway, thanking the Most High for all that He's done. Yes, all praises. We're in the book of Ezra. Yes, the book of Ezra. Chapter 8. Yes, Ezra chapter 8. We've seen how that Ezra, the letter of Xerxes was revealed unto, that was hidden, that the pagan naysayers of the Israelites were telling them, no, you cannot do this. But Ezra knew he had a command, and he had to go ahead, and also the blessing of the king of Persia, to go ahead and build, repair, and beautify the temple. Yes, whatever God had commanded them to do it with. Gave them money, food, substances and materials and everything. God have commanded this king by dealing with his heart. See, God is a spirit, and He does have a sway over men's hearts. He already knows what man has in his heart. See, you have to realize Persia was given over to a certain entity, but God has even reign over that, regardless of how they feel about God. You may not think anything about the God of Israel. Your God is maybe Jesus. It may be the way of Islam. It may be Buddha. It may be all kind of ballistic gods and all this other stuff. But God has sway over all of that. You have noticed even Balaam, when he was beginning to curse, he was under the strength of another spirit. But yet God talked with him because he was granted permission to commune with the spirit that he served. But God told him no, he couldn't. God had much power over this spirit, and to the point that he could not curse the children of Israel, but he had to bless them. And that made Balak mad. Yes, you can tell by their names who their gods were. Over Egypt was this bee god. Over the Canaanite was a few gods. I will not mention their names, but there were a few gods over even the Canaanite people who, to tell you the truth, these spirits are real, and they will visit from time to time different peoples and do things for them. But God sees everything. He can dispatch angels at the same time, or should I say spirits at the same time, to go and tend to those who are heirs of Jacob. Now, Ezra the 8th chapter. Now these are the chief of their fathers, and this is the genealogy of them that went up with me from Babylon in the reign of Xerxes the king. So he's giving you a genealogy now. We know that in the 7th chapter, that Ezra was of the line of high priest that comes from Aaron. Yes, that's who Ezra was. He was a high priest. His office, high priest. Now he's giving us another genealogy. The sons of Phinehas, which was the son of who? Aaron. They kept these genealogies, whereas now many of the children of Jacob don't even know who they are. Many, they denounce these things because God had given you confusion. Even Daniel had said, to us belong the confusion of faces. He says the sons of Phinehas was Gershon, the sons of Ithamar, Daniel, the sons of David, Hattush, the sons of Shechaniah, the sons of Perush, Zechariah, and with him were reckoned by genealogy of the males 150, the sons of Pathah Moab, and Elah Noe, and the sons of Zerahiah, and with him 200 males, the sons of Shekinah, and the sons of Jahaziel, with them 300 males, and the sons of Adin, Abed, and the sons of Jonathan, which with him 50 males, and the sons of Eli and Jeshaiah, and the sons of Athaliah, and with him 70 males. Now sometimes you females will act in your rebellion. Well, he's not talking about us. We don't like this. Feminism, and you're trying to make yourself known and pump yourself up. What have you done? You've blasphemed the Most High. He's given you a certain thing to do. Yes, there were women prophets, but most women during that time and during this time should be tending to their families, doing that which is in them to do. But the rebelliousness of the heathen have turned you backward. Women of Jacob, daughters of Zion. And you have taken the way of Jezebel. And even the harlots of the heathen. But yet, he talks to the males. Yes, whether you like it or not, the God of Israel is for the male, and he's not funny, for he is not neither male nor female, but the male carries more of the character of the Most High than the female. The animals don't complain, but the mankind complains all the time. Forget to walk. What is the law of the female? What is the law given to the female? You're going to birth children. And that's what many of them really prided themselves in, to nurture the child and bring a child forth for the man. that will give glory and strength and honor to the kingdom of the Most High. This was the pride of the woman. Not because you got PhD or this and that. Now, man, you do have a problem yourself in that you belittle the woman in your nastiness, thinking that she's less than what she is. Really, she's everything, because she is the one that puts it all forth, bears the pain. Let's continue. I digress. But either way, we were in verse 6. And the sons of Adon was Ebab, the son of Jonathan, with him 50 males. And the sons of Elam was Jesiah, and the sons of Athaliah, with him 70 males. All these males, many of them were Levites. The sons of Joab, Obadiah, the sons of Jehiel, with him 218 males. And the sons of Shelomith, the sons of Josephiah, and with him 160 males. And the sons of Bebai, Zechariah, sons of Bebai, with him 28 males. And the sons of Asgad, Jonathan, and son of Hakatan, and with him 110 males. And of the last sons was Adonake. These names are these: Eliphet, Jehiel, and Shemael, and with them 80 males. Yes, and the sons of Bigvai, Uthai, and Zabud, with them 70 males. And I gathered them together to the river that runneth to Hava. And there abode we in tents 3 days, and I viewed the people and the priests, and found there none of the sons of Levi. Okay, I digress. They found none of the sons of Levi. And this is what you need, the sons of Levi, not no Jesus. And I sent for Eleazar and Ariel, and Shemaiah, and for Elithan, and for Jarib, and for Elithan, and for Nathan, and for Zechariah, and for Meshulam, chief men, also of Joiarib, of Nathan, men of understanding. I've sent for the chief and the wise men, is really what he's saying. And I sent them with commandment unto Edo, chief at the place of Casaphiah. And I told them what they should say unto Edo. Now this is the high priest talking now. And to his brethren the Nethemims at the place of Casaphiah. And they should bring unto us ministers for the house of the God, or the I Am. And by the good hand of our God upon us, they brought us a man of understanding, the sons of Mali, the son of Levi. Oh, they brought another son of Levi to the high priest, the son of Israel, and Shebiah, and with his sons and with his brethren 18, and Hashabiah, and with him Jeshahiah, and of the sons of Merari, his sons and their sons 20. Also the Nethemims, whom David and the princes had appointed for the service of the Levites. These were the ones, the kings, who have made themselves, dressed themselves in rag clothes, and because they seen the God of Israel was not to be defeated at all. So they say, let us do this lest we die. And he said, you shall be water drawers. Yes, that's what you're going to do. You're going to draw water. And what they did, they drew water for the service of who? The Levites. He found 220 Nethemims, and all of them were expressed by name. Verse 21, and I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Hava. Now this was a warranted fast, that we might afflict ourselves before God to seek him a right way for us, and for our little ones, and for our substance. For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken to the king, saying, the hand of our God is upon all of them that seek him. before you go into battle, before you take on an expedition, seek God, fast, call upon him. You can talk all you want and say, oh, God is this and God is that. No. They afflicted themselves first. But his power and wrath is against all them that forsake him. In other words, let us get ourselves right with God. Let us seek his face. Let us seek his favor through his mercy. So we fasted and besought our God for this, and he was entreated of us. He was inquired. We inquired of him. Sort of backwards, but he was required. We inquired. Then I separated 12 chief of the priests. These were Levites, yes. Shebiah, Hashabiah, and then 10 of their brethren with them. And weighed unto them the silver and the gold and the vessels, even the offering of the house of our God, which the king and his counselors and his lords and all Israel there present had offered. In other words, everybody said, we want our God back. We want our God back. Not our Father. God hadn't begotten nothing. He created everything and gave it all a law that it should obey it. From the sun to the moon to the stars, to the lion cub, to the lion, and to the monkey, and the roach, spider, the birds, even mankind who don't even know his own owner. Eve is not the white man, black man. It's the Most High. Watch ye and keep him until ye weigh them before the chief priests and the Levites. Now, Levites was with them of the fathers of Israel at Jerusalem in the chambers of the house of the I Am. So the priests and the Levites, this was the line of Aaron, and the Levites, the weight of the silver and the gold in the vessel to bring them to Jerusalem unto the house of our God. Didn't say the house of our Father. That's Greek talk. They put that in that Bible that you read every day. It's to bring God. Sometimes you can say one word and it can cause a whole thought process. When you say Father, you said he be God of a woman. This God copulated with a woman, which is blasphemy. This is why I say the New Testament is false. It is a derivative from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, upon the curses. Now, he says in verse 31, and when we departed from the river Hava in the 20th day of the first month to go to Jerusalem, and the hand of God was upon us, and he delivered us from the hand of the enemy. That was these so-called Pharisees, Sadducees, Christians, pagans, whatever you want to call them. But they couldn't have been Christians because this Jesus wasn't even invented yet. Or your Yahushua, Yahusha, your Messiah, all invented. But to those that God would open their eyes and see what mankind have done, they don't mean that they were white that did that deception with the New Testament. No. You got it all backwards. And we came to Jerusalem and abode there 3 days. Now, on the 4th day was the silver. Now you see how when they sought God, whether you go into battle or take upon an expedition or go and entreat someone else, you entreat God first. This was the way of Israel. This was the way of Jacob. Before we go and fight this enemy, before we go to court, before we began to take this journey to go over yonder and live, and before you even go and think about going to Israel and doing your exodus, whatever. But either way, fast and entreat God. This is what's written. This is a true saying. It was written for examples unto us on how we should approach God. This is an example how the priests did it coming out of captivity. Were they able to keep the Sabbath? Yes, they was in some instances. Were they able to keep from working? No, they were under captivity. They were mandated to work. Not that they were slaves, but they were living to enhance the lives of others. How did they do this? Taxes. The same thing with you, Jacob, today. How do you sustain the captivity in the nations that you live in? Taxes. And how do they sustain their superiority over you? Systematic racism. That's what they do. Yes, it is. Now, and imprisonment. Now, by you acting the fool. But either way, he says now, we delivered us from the hands of the enemy. God did this, and of such as lay hand in wait by the way. God delivered them. How he delivered, we are not aware at this time. And we came to Jerusalem and bore there 3 days. They went to Jebus, the city of David. And now on the fourth day was the silver and the gold and the vessels weighed in the house of our God by the hands of Meremoth, the son of Uriah the priest. Now he was not the high priest, but he was the priest. He was a priest. And with him was Eleazar and the son of Phinehas. Eleazar was a priest also, but he was not the high priest. Now with him was Josabad, the son of Yeshua, or Jeshua, or Oshay. So you have to realize Moses had a speech impediment, not by birth. But if you read the book of Joshua, you'll find out how Moses got that speech impediment. This says Yeshua. No, where do you think they got Jesus from? Yeshua. G-E-S. They took off the H and the A and made it a Jesus. Whatever. I mean, there's so many theories. But nevertheless, Noida and the son of Binui, Levites. They were Levites, yes. And by the number and by the weight of everyone and all the weight that was written at that time, verse 35. Also the children of those that had been carried away, which were come out of captivity, offered burnt offerings unto the God of Israel. 12 bullocks for all Israel, 96 rams, 77. Now, were they all Judah and Benjamin? No, some of them were children of the 10 tribes. They were. But the majority of the 10 tribes were taken captives. See, one thing was smart about these Babylonians they took all the men of renown, the warriors. They took the ones that were scientists. They took the ones that were philosophers and all these things that could enhance their kingdom, which were many, yes. They left the ones that were uneducated or unlearned in certain ways and just left them to their own whatever. We don't need you. Just like some of you will not put your mind to anything. All you thinking about is an EBT card and having children without a father. And then some of you want to do this and that, and then you say, if God was here, why didn't he get me from the popo? No, it don't work like that, my friend. Your sins will find you out. And Deuteronomy chapter 28 hangs. And the only way you can walk out of it is keep his commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws, especially those 10, until we come to the point where we can execute all the sacrifices and all of that, because there is no Isis. No, it's not. There's no Jesus, no Yahushua, no Yahusha. No. There's only the law, the way, the truth, and the life we should live. You see how they fixed that up? They didn't fix it up. I wouldn't even give them that. That's not to their wisdom. That's something God has given to the spirits, the fallen spirits, to cause them to err. And now you follow after that same foolishness, and they joined the 27 books to that which Moses has written in the historical account of Israel and call it the New Testament, when really it's really nothing. If you know your Testament here, oh, it's too much for you to read. It's better to read letters than to read books. Okay, they got you on that one. Now you can be a pagan all by yourself with your others in your church, bumping up against the walls, rolling on the floor, acting a fool. God is a God of sobriety. Now I can see one that is drunken, even a baby that just had his milk from his mother. Yes, that is a funny thing. But either way, verse 35, and the children of those that had been carried away, which come out of the captivity, burnt offerings unto the God of Israel, 12 bullocks. How come Jesus didn't come then? Who delivered them out of captivity? It was the Most High. He touched the heart of the king, just like he touched the heart of who? Pharaoh. And then he used Moses to lead them out where he wanted them to go. It wasn't Moses that delivered the children of Israel. It was the Most High. He changed the heart of Pharaoh. He hardened the heart of Pharaoh. Many of you get it backwards, and most of you have never read it. You just hear what you heard. And then that one that you heard it from was there to deceive you anyway. Read. God wouldn't have touched and hung and took the heathen by the nose that they would translate this thing to whatever language you speak. God did this thing. But now you weigh in the balance of your soul and your eternity and your children because you don't question God. Seek his face. And then once you find out, seek to understand why God did it. Most accuse God. It's just like Satan. He accused God to you and he accused you to God. That's what the Satans does. They trample around the earth and they seek whom they may devour. What does he mean by that? Those that they may turn unto lawlessness. Period. That's what he's talking about. You're eaten up. You're washed away. They know their time is but short, according to the book of Enoch, not Revelation. So by the number of weight, he says now 99 6 rams, 70 and 7 rams, 12 he-goats for a sin offering, according to the book of Leviticus. It tells you how to lay out. And the book of Jasher also tells you how to sacrifice, even what type of wood you should use. They kept that out because they don't want you to know the kind of wood you should use. Did you not know pine trees? And then they changed the name to a gopher wood. No. And now they say, oh, the gopher wood is in the United States. That's another lie, a deception. It wasn't the gopher wood. No, it wasn't. There's another type of wood. I have to get back with you on that one. Now, 70 and 7 lambs, 12 he-goats for a sin offering. All this was a burnt offering before the I Am. And they delivered the king's commission unto the king's lieutenant and to the governors on this side of the river. And they furthered the people and the house of God. In other words, God prospered them because they started keeping the law. Even as it says in the book of Psalms, you will be a tree planted by the rivers of the water. That's the one promise. And the other one says, in Joshua 1 and 8, he says, and you shall have good success. Why? Because you're keeping the law. And also, I still adjure you to read the whole chapter of Daniel, chapter 9, confusion of faces. Yes. And if we do keep those things that are bound to us by the law, those of us who aspire to be with the Most High through Jacob, and those of us that are the seed of Jacob, if we do these things, we will have peace.
Walk with me.